I'm getting ready for the weekend. I am off to pre-fish for a little shindig. I'm fishing in a couple weeks. It's a workhorse tournament out on a super duper clear lake, at least for Florida standards. It's like 8 to 10, maybe a little bit more visibility. It's just really clear water. A lot of small fish in the lake too. It's going to be one of those game of ounces, games of calling. You can catch a bunch, but a lot of dinks. There's some giants in there, but they're real tough to catch. It's just a tweaky place to be. I don't know if you can hear that in the background, but that's kind of what we're going to be talking about today. So one thing I'm actually going to be doing is I'm going to show you a little DIY trick that the guys at D&M Custom Baits showed me in order to get my plastics, my soft plastics, even my production soft plastics, super soft. And that's going to come into play because I'm going to be doing a ton of drop shotting, doing some finesse wacky rigging and stuff like that to get some of these guys to bite. So let's get to the fun stuff. Let me show you what I'm doing to get prepped DIY style for some super finesse fishing on some clear water. So what do I got right here? Well, I got my finesse baits. Basically what I'm going to be throwing out there is kind of your standard finesse worm. That's a Gambler Swevo. I think I got some 5-inch Wevos around here. That was watermelon. Watermelon red. What else did I got? Oh, I got, that's right. I got some Shaky Shad, some little like freaking drop shot style baits. So what we're gonna do is, you can probably hear it already, but I got some water boiling right here. And basically, got about much water. I'm basically going to put some salt in here first. So this is DIY to get your bait super soft. I'm going to grab a pair of tongs, so I got right here. And what you're going to do is, all you're going to do is you're going to take your production style plastics, you know, anything, stuff you buy at Walmart. I got some of my Gambler stuff here. I'm actually probably going to do down the line some Damiki stuff that I got too, but whatever. You take whatever kind of plastics you want, your production style plastics, and you can basically make them into like an injection molded or like a super supple finesse plastic. And here's what you're going to do. Let me grab a plate real quick. So all you're going to do is you're going to grab maybe like a handful. I wouldn't do too many at a time because they're a little tough to catch, but you just grab like a handful and you drop them in the boiling water. This is really complex stuff, you know, real high level rocket engineering. And that's where the tong comes in. You want to keep your water boiling a bit, and by adding that salt, it raises the temp at which the water boils, so they'll boil even faster. Basically, then what happens, you can see the baits kind of start to float to the top, and that's a sign that they're done. You only want to leave them in like 15 to 30 seconds or so. Just give them a good mix, make sure they're good. They'll start to kind of come to the top like a boiled egg would, and you just grab them out. And then you can kind of double check them. I actually want them a little bit softer than that. So you can boil them to different grades. The longer you boil them, the softer they're going to get. You don't want to overdo it, obviously, but you can kind of pull them out, test them, touch them, and see where you want to get. I want to get them pretty soft, because these fish, like 1 or 2 bigger bites on this lake that we're going to, can make all the difference. It's a real tweaky lake, so I want to have some baits that just set myself a little bit apart here. We're going to mix them up. You can pull a couple out, try them. It's like cooking dinner for yourself. All right, they are where I want them to be. Now check that out. You can just tell, like, the way they stretch and move, like that bait is now like almost, let me get the rest of these out before I screw them up here. The bait is super supple, like supple. Like it's going to quiver and tweak very nicely. And it's gonna, all right, here's the downside. Let's be perfectly flat out honest here. They are gonna be softer, they're gonna tear up faster like this, but they're also gonna have a lot more action and have a lot more of that real subtle quiver that's hugely important on the super clear water lakes. But you can just see, man, they stretch out a bunch, they're more supple, they got more play into the bait. It's just, they're sweet like this, dude. It's great for drop shotting. The one thing that I'm going to give you a heads up on, you want to be careful how much you boil them when it comes to wacky rigging, because with wacky rigging you need a little bit of elasticity in the bait, in the sense that it needs to snap a little bit more. When you boil them so much that they're super soft, they don't have as much snap, so that bait doesn't wave quite correctly. But you got to play around with it. You'll learn. I'm showing you the basics, and then you can play with it. But that's the gist of it, guys. I'm going to boil some more plastics. Like I said, I got my little shaky shads. I got some 4-inch finesse worms, some 5-inch finesse worms, some Damiki stuff that I'm going to boil up. And that's what I do to get prepped for a super clear water finesse fishing extravaganza, where I need a little bit of an edge to get a few more bites and to maybe get those bigger bites in that super clear water. So apply it, give it a try. I'm gonna get these done so I can get out fishing this weekend and tight lines. I'll check you later.